So guys, back to another video in the channel. Today we are going to be doing a tactical analysis sort of video in which we will be going through a bit of the Crystal Palace game. And because I think this game is a spitting image of what has been going wrong for many weeks but has not been picked up. And in hindsight, I think we deserve to lose that game, and I have a few notes here which we are going to go through and talk about in terms of what had went wrong in this game, because I thought we started quite well, but as the game went on, things didn't go our way in terms of maybe individual errors cost us, or whether Arteta's way of just literally allowing Crystal Palace to get onto us. Because when you look at the possession after we went up front, it was when we went forward, it was literally mostly to them 60-70%. They had all the possession. Now, we have been doing this in many games, but in this game where Crystal Palace had a bit of quality in midfield with the likes of Conor Gallagher, Luka Milivojevic, we really struggled, and we struggled in a bad way. But let's just start off first of all and talk about the start of this game, because I thought we started quite well actually. If you look at this screen here, look, we started off with Thomas Partey. Sorry, wrong bit here. Thomas Partey here. Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard. They were playing in the pivot next to each other. As you can see, they're pushed quite high up the pitch. Thomas Partey is doing quite well to get into that hole there. Plays the ball over to Odegaard. Look, this is where the goal comes from in the end. And I think the goal comes from just good connections in between the midfield and the attack line. Now, you see up front we have Saka, Smith Rowe and Aubameyang playing as a three dynamic in that forward line. But as you'll see later on, that dynamic doesn't work anymore, for the simple reason that Aubameyang just stops pressing. And I think this setup here did work for quite a while, because our passing play was quite fluid. As you can see, Tierney out wide had all the space in the world, and then I think eventually the goal comes from the corner, which causes from Tierney, plays after Saka, gets the corner, and then Pepe and Tomiyasu, a good bit of work. But to be fair, that's the only good bit of work Tomiyasu and Pepe do in this game, because after that it kind of just falls apart. I want to move along the slide at the moment and show you the next bit I want to talk about. It's this bit. Now, this is a big bit I want to talk about. Now, as we score the goal, we leave many holes in midfield. The holes in midfield are vast. Now, as you can see here on the right, you have, I think that's one of their players moving forward with the ball, and that's Odegaard. He's left hanging. He's not in his position where he needs to be. I can't point out on the screen where, but you see where Partey is. He needs to be next to Partey, holding off behind the ball. Because if Arteta is telling them to go, sit back, then Odegaard has to be there. This is why Odegaard cannot play in a pivot next to Thomas Partey. For me, we did a massive mistake playing Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard next to each other, because it meant Crystal Palace had a lot of space in midfield in which they could move the ball around very, very easily, and it caused us endless amounts of problems it ended up causing us. The second bit I want to talk about is the blue line I've circled. That's the main reason I brought up this picture. Now, as you can see, look, there's no line. Usually you have a defensive line. There is no line here. And look, they're in a pretty dangerous position. They're getting forward. If Odsonne-Edouard, or if they had Wilf Zaha, he'd be out on the left. Now, the most worrying player for me at this point is not Tierney, because yes, he could do better positionally, getting cut back in with Gabriel in case Conor Gallagher does make a run around the side, but that doesn't happen. Tomiyasu, he is too close to Ben White for me. If on the left you have Odsonne-Edouard, or in another game it would probably be with Zaha, but in this game it was Odsonne-Edouard, and then you had Benteke, who's maybe Ben White could have got closer to him, but look, it's fine. That ball isn't going to get to him. But why is Tomiyasu so close over there? You have a decent gap between Tierney and Gabriel, decent gap between White and Gabriel, and Tierney and Gabriel. That's fine, but why is Tomiyasu not following the line? That's one of my main problems. Why is Tomiyasu not following that line and defending in a unit? That's one of my problems, especially with Tomiyasu. Positionally, he's out of position that many times, and this happened countless amounts of times during the game, to the point where even Nicola Pepe couldn't help him. Maybe he could have done more to help him in terms of come back if Tomiyasu is struggling positionally. But I think Arteta, what he needs to work on with Ben White and Tomiyasu is the positioning side of it. If Tomiyasu is cutting in, then Ben White has to use his initiative and try and cut back the other side to cover up for that Tomiyasu mistake. Now, Tomiyasu doesn't necessarily make many big mistakes in this game, but I think little mistakes cost us tactically in this game a lot, and that's one problem, big problem that we had in this game. And I want to move on now, and then I'll talk about the next thing in this little slide. And I think it's the goal is going to come up. Look, this is where the Crystal Palace goal comes from. Now, Tomiyasu gets caught out, very slow on the ball. Again, another one of his mistakes. Now, he gives it to Thomas Partey in quite an interesting position. Now, I wouldn't blame Thomas Partey when he gets the ball. Everyone knows what happens when he gets the ball. Crystal Palace pressing down. And this is very good of Patrick Vieira, how he set up his Crystal Palace team, because he set them up to press like this, and it's brilliant pressing. I have to give it to him. He's got 3 on Tomiyasu, literally 3 players on Tomiyasu. And then they all press on Thomas Partey. What Thomas Partey should probably do is play the first touch. That's Smith Rowe. Literally free. No one's there. That number 2 on Crystal Palace, non-existent. Thomas Partey just has to play the first ball over the cross, and this is where the first goal definitely comes from. And again, this one is down to the individual errors of Tomiyasu and both Thomas Partey. I don't think it's just one, because Tomiyasu is the one who's putting Partey in that problem. And moving on to the next bit I want to quickly touch on is this. Now, Thomas Partey loses it. My big issue, why isn't Gabriel closing him down? Now, this is something when I watched this over and over and over before I got to actually screenshotting the video and circling it. I don't know why Gabriel isn't more touch tight to Christian Benteke. Even when, obviously, I can't show this goal, otherwise I'm going to get copyrighted. But why isn't Gabriel closing him? He isn't. He just holds off, almost as if he's scared of a penalty. Look, he can shoot. Christian Benteke can shoot. He's not scored in the last 7 games. If Gabriel just gets a bit closer to him, then when Benteke is cutting onto his right foot, then he can stick a foot out Gabriel and try and block the ball. By which point, Tierney would have probably come back and he could also help him as well. But that's one problem, small problem, that I think Gabriel struggled on in that game. And again, cost us a goal. You can't really do much about that. But now, this is where the second goal comes from. Sambi Lokonga, individual mistake. And I think both goals did come from individual mistakes. And we saw that again today, quite vividly, if I'm honest. And look, that goal cost us, and there's nothing much we can do. But the next picture I want to show you is this. Odsonne-Edouard is on the right hand side, and Ben White has absolutely no clue where he is. Now, that's a big problem for me. Again, Gabriel had this problem with Christian Benteke, and Ben White's had this problem now with Odsonne-Edouard. Why isn't Ben White more touch tight to him? Why isn't he getting closer to him? Is that something Arteta has told him to positionally stand there just in case Odsonne-Edouard cuts inside? I'm not 100% sure. But Ben White has to know where his man is. It's almost like he's imbalanced. It's almost like he's reminding me of Shkodran Mustafi against Jamie Vardy the other season. He's not getting touch tight to his man, and he's not closing in. Again, is that individual errors? You guys tell me in the comment section down below. But yeah, this is now how we set up in the last sort of 10 minutes of the game. Now, you can't see it off the picture, but we have 6 Arsenal players in our own half. When we're trying to chase a goal, we have Tomiyasu on the right. We have Odegaard almost playing as a CDM, but I'm not sure what his job is there, because Sambi's receiving the ball and Odegaard's just standing there. And then you have Gabriel White, Sambi's sort of pushed into centre-back-ish trying to receive the ball. And then you've got Kieran Tierney on the left. At this point, I'm pretty sure Thomas Partey's taken off for Gabriel Martinelli, who's come up front. And then you have a forward 4 of Martinelli, Aubameyang, Lacazette and Pepe. And almost what we're trying to do is we're trying to play a 4-2-4 almost. And the reason why this did not work at all, which is why we probably couldn't have created as many chances. We wanted to look at that midfield. Just look where I've circled. There's 3 Crystal Palace. How are we meant to get forward without actually just playing a ball over the top? And if we manage to play it differently, maybe if we get Thomas Partey on the pitch, we could guard that midfield. We could maybe create a bit more. And maybe we should have started with Lokonga and Partey in the game, because we needed more in that midfield, because we got absolutely ran over in that midfield. And obviously, yes, we did score a goal late on, but that just did come from, that literally just came from just luck, to be honest. Just came from luck. And that's about it, to be honest. And just looking back onto my notes, again, Aubameyang only single-handedly pressing. He wasn't getting much help from Saka or Smith Rowe either. Both were not great in this game, if I'm honest. I think that's on Arteta. He needs to get more help in terms of the pressing, because Aubameyang will just be like next game, well, if I'm not getting help pressing, why am I bothering? because that's the problem. Because I thought Guaita, that Crystal Palace goalkeeper, was there for the taking. You know, his distribution wasn't great, and I think Ramsdale, our goalkeeper, saved us in many instances. And I think again, Nicola Pepe needs to sort himself out. Not great. And Saka didn't get into the game either. Yeah, yes, he did come off at halftime due to an injury, but he should be doing much, much better than he did. But yeah, that's all I'm going to cover for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. That was a tactical analysis and breakdown of the game. Let's hope Arteta can fix this. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.